Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for tuning in to Walker Vibes. Pretty new, but we're just starting up and hopefully going to start strong. We just finished watching The Walking Dead, Season 5B, Episode 1. It was pretty great, and we're going to share some thoughts. We took a few notes. We're going to do that in a few. First, we're going to do some intros. So to start off, we'll have the guy who started it all, Orlando.
What's up? This is Orlando. Thanks for tuning in.
And we have Danzel.
What's going on, guys?
We have Samantha.
What is up?
And myself, Brandon.
All right, so we're super excited to get this thing going. It's been a few months in the making, but we're here and we're gonna get this done. So thanks for tuning in. This episode was nuts. A lot of things happened. Some people thought it was slow. Some people thought, like myself, some people thought it was awesome. I have a few notes here.
I thought it was bananas.
Bananas. So, what do you guys think? I'm gonna bring this up. So they drove however they got there, 500 miles to Virginia. What do you think really pushed Rick to drive the group to Virginia? It was one thought. Noah was like, "My family's there. Let's go." Go ahead.
Well, I think he sort of explained it to Glenn when they were at
True.
the Wiltshire Estates, that they were mostly doing it for Beth and not really for the group, but that was Beth's goal to bring Noah back to where he came from.
I think 100%, basically, the whole episode, if not maybe 80% of it, was just all about Beth, because the entire reason they were there was for her. Noah wanted to go, obviously, but Rick really wanted to push that they were going to go specifically for her. You know, she wanted to do it for Noah, but again, everything was just keeping her in mind.
And maybe even if it wasn't just for Beth, I think that we realized throughout this episode that people were really giving up and not wanting to fight anymore. Yeah, they weren't really willing to fight anymore. They kind of just wanted somewhere. They wanted to settle down. So maybe it was more of helping, Beth achieve her goal even after life, and maybe just settling down somewhere safe.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said, Sam. I also think Rick kind of has a pretty good understanding of the despair amongst the group. Even when they talk about when Michonne was talking to Glenn and Rick and how she just really wants to settle down. You could see the frustration in her.
Yeah, they were over it.
Yeah, she's pretty much just over it. She wants to just relax, not have to worry about all these things. Every time you even see her just walk up to a walker to kill it, there's just this
Hesitation.
weight on her chest. I'm sick of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of, Rick has just a lot of hope, a lot of faith. We sort of see him progress, obviously from the prison, even from Herschel's farm to the prison to now. It's a lot of hope and faith, but now he's just we just got to do what we can to survive. Just jump from location to location and not worry about what's in the middle.
I have a question for all you guys. As not episode 1 of a season, because it's the second half really, but as a starter episode, starting back up into it, what importance do you think this episode had overall?
Oh my god.
I think it set a premise. Huge character, Tyrese. Got bit. That's right off the bat. That's nuts. We all know Tyrese as someone who was not really shy in the beginning, maybe sort of not really into the whole let's kill humans thing in order to survive. You saw him in the cabin with Judith. He had to kill the guy from Gareth's group in order to keep them alive. He didn't necessarily kill them. He thought he did, but he had to do his thing. Tyrese being a character like that, getting bit and dying, is just definitely setting the premise for a whole new season, a whole new thing they have to get into.
Yeah, Tyrese dying, as unfortunate as it was, I think the bigger part of it was kind of what I was talking about before, as far as everybody having that sense of despair. Tyrese was that sense of hope. He was one of the guys behind Rick saying, we have to keep going, we have to be positive, we can definitely rebuild. And, just the fact that he's gone now, that's just going to kill the group even more. He was that rock for everybody.
Definitely. The whole thing with the dead characters talking, that was nuts. Go ahead.
I actually wondered I think that brings a whole new perspective onto what someone sees when they get bit. It might not have just been Tyrese, but kind of the whole life flashing before your eyes thing. And it was interesting because you could really see a lot of the inner struggle he had. Sam actually brought up a point during the episode saying that it looked a lot more... You know what? I'm going to let her talk about it.
I'm not really sure what point you were getting across. You can definitely say it.
When you were talking about how it seemed like there was a struggle with the walkers being death, trying to get him, and them trying to bring him back.
Oh yeah, when they were trying to bring him back to the car to drive him off, it was sort of like a metaphor. You saw one or two of those zombies sort of trying to go after him specifically, so it was like a metaphor between life and death, really trying to grab him towards each side. So.
And life being the group,
Yeah.
trying to keep him alive.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
Speaking of which, since you're talking about like, you know, zombies trying to grab him and all that stuff, you think about when the group was trying to bring him back to whatever safe zone they had. Do you remember when they hit that car and all the zombies flew out?
Yes, that was nuts.
What was that about?
What-
They all had
So
no
yeah,
limbs.
they had W's on their heads, on their foreheads. So I'm not really an avid, Walking Dead comic book reader, but I've gotten to know a few of the new villains, I guess, for lack of a better term. So there's Negan with the bat, which by the way, when Glenn picked up the bat, I thought that had something to do with him. But anyways, so with the whole W on their head, I don't know what that's about, but I think that's definitely, something nuts. A bunch of zombies that were
It's a
nubs,
sign.
no limbs,
Yeah,
yeah. Tyrese getting bit. It's setting a huge premise for the beginning of the second half of season 5.
And then I know, like, there's so many questions that pop up with this new episode, which is great, because I think that's what, should be happening. But it also brings you to the question of what actually happened to the estates. Like, it almost looked like they were bombed.
Yeah,
or-
it looks like they were bombed. There was literally holes in the ceilings, just buildings on fire. It was
Unless there were heavy zombies falling through the roof.
these huge zombies.
falling from the sky. Yeah.
Which, let's not rule anything out. I mean,
That's a
mutant
possibility.
zombies.
That'll be something. Fat zombies crashing through my ceiling. That is how I die.
It really is interesting to me. I'm hoping so. On the radio, what did you guys get from the radio? By the way, what did you pick anything out specifically that was being said on the radio while he was in the car?
I think it was sort of tying back to when Tyrese is talking in the car about how his dad used to tell him all the time to keep up with current events.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And what I was hearing through the radio was, them saying like, oh, these, sort of recapping events of the zombie apocalypse through like speech, like, that's I think that's what they were talking
They
about.
sort of. Yeah. Go ahead, Denzel. Go ahead.
I remember specifically like one of the things that he said was he was talking about like news that was happening overseas in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I specifically remember hearing like a broadcast from Britain during the course of the episode. But there was a quote that he specifically said in the car that kind of led like a string to the rest of the episode. So he said, "Keeping your eyes open. My dad always told me that's the high cost of living." Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you notice a lot of the time he was talking, actually when he was first bit in that room and the governor came over and people were like, open your eyes, like that's kind of more or less like he needed
Definitely.
to stop being so naive and, be willing to fight.
There you
for
go.
for
And
the
unfortunately, it came
world.
too late.
Yeah.
He was bit. And I always thought Tyrese could have progressed a lot faster than he actually did. He's a huge guy. He's big. He's manly. But, that huge giant hammer thing was like 2 feet long. He bashed through like 20 freaking zombies at one point.
Could have
But-
been 3 feet long.
Could have been. Hey, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But I think,
Make it 8 guys.
it even shows that, like, if you're not that type of person, you won't survive. The reason why he didn't survive is not because he wasn't willing to kill someone that was already alive, but because he got bit. But that can even show that you have to be a certain way. You have to protect what you have, protect your family, protect the people you're with.
Can't be
The
soft.
threat. Yeah, the threat isn't only the undead. The threat is the alive, and if anything, that's a worse threat.
And I think looking back at this episode, I'm really seeing that, I don't know, I was sort of seeing that his struggle was still going through even into the car ride, but I honestly think that he officially gave up when he used his own arm to kill the zombie. Like,
Well, I don't think that's so much giving up. That's even he's still fighting the zombie. So at that point, he's really not giving up. Him giving up is letting the zombie bite his face off.
But I feel like there were so many other ways you could have gone through that. You don't just give up your own arm even after
Well,
you're bit.
the arm was already compromised.
I
It was
feel like
bit. You know what I mean?
feel like it was a good distraction, just something to push him away. Because for whatever reason, whether he was scared or whatever it is, he was not able to push the zombie away fully. So that gave him the zombie something to bite on, and then he could grab something to actually hit it in the head with.
Yeah, I think in that moment, he was struggling with, okay, this zombie is on me now. Like, I could just let it bite my face off, or I can fight. And the moment where he used his arm, I think that was one of the moments where he's like, all right, I'm going to fight for this. There's so many different times in the episode where he was in and out as far as, am I going to just die, or am I going to fight? Am I dying, am I going to fight, So
Did the zombie bite like the already bitten part of his arm?
I think so.
That is
crazy.
crazy.
I believe it was a little further down. I think it was further down on the arm than where he got
That's
bit.
gotta hurt a lot. That's
Needless.
horrible.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. It was still on the same arm in the same area.
But it made me realize, like, the fact that this happened was because he was staring so intently into Noah's, like, childhood pictures. It makes you wonder,
Intensely,
like,
yeah.
like, he put so much thought into it to a point where he was so, like, numb around, like, his environment. Like, he wasn't...
What do you think? What do you think he was thinking about when he was staring at that photo? Was he thinking about himself, his childhood?
I don't know.
That's another thing.
I think it could have been a few things actually. It could have been something in his personal life. Maybe he was seeing, how happy he was back then, and made him realize like, I used to be that happy or something like that. But then it could have also been him realizing how much the world has changed, going from something so simple and happy to fighting for your life every day. And just Noah alone in the pictures, he was so happy with his brother and everything, and now it's like you never see him laugh or anything because he's fighting every single day for his life.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it might have a little bit to do with Sasha, seeing his sibling in the picture and then realizing,
True.
oh,
That's
he's
a
in
good
the
point.
bed,
very
dead.
good point.
What if this was Sasha? Like probably those are some of the things that were going through his mind.
Wow, definitely.
And then that little twin, he got him.
He got him. he bit him good.
Yeah.
Bit him like a chicken cutlet.
Do you guys see his expression? He was like one of those I am legend zombies. After he bit him, he was like, I got you.
It makes you wonder what Sasha's gonna do now. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
she's not over the loss of Bob, like,
Definitely
at
not.
all. And now her brother's gone.
And another thing, after he got bit, he literally had a good 10-minute conversation with those zombies, like with those walkers. What were the other guys doing? They must have been taking their time out there.
Noah
Michonne
was trapped.
cleaning her sword.
Well, yeah, he was trapped, but so
that was
one person
that was ridiculous at one point.
Yeah,
like
the one person that I was waiting for them to show was Karen. Like,
Yes.
of all the people
Yes.
over the progression of his
Yes.
character, they just
That's a good
didn't show
point.
Karen. They probably couldn't get her back on the show.
I
but
feel like I sort of thought about like if they show Karen, he's dead. Like he's got to be dead. There's no way he's surviving that.
I thought it was a missed opportunity.
And then when they were pulling his arm, I'm like, yeah, he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cutting that thing off, dude.
I feel like it could have been for two reasons. Number one, they either couldn't get her back on the show, or number two, just like you said, I feel like had we seen Karen, since he didn't get to say bye to her or anything, I feel like that would have been the opportunity where he really did give up and he was like, there she is, I want to be with her.
That would be
Yeah.
It was
perfect.
like
yeah.
he wouldn't have been able to back away, and he would have just wanted to be with her for heaven or wherever they were going after that. He wouldn't have wanted to just stay there and struggle. He would have wanted to be with her. So
Yeah.
that might be why they didn't show her at all.
Definitely. So we can agree that really set the premise for this season. Something that I noticed, it really isn't huge, but if you notice, Glenn has a cross draw holster. He's wearing. Who else that you know of in the show had a cross draw holster?
Only you
Herschel.
would know that.
So Herschel had a cross draw holster. Maybe he has that holster. Maybe it's the same gun. I wouldn't want to let go of
Yeah.
a father-in-law. He seemed like a really good guy. Like that, I think was really. I don't know. Was really touching. Like maybe that's his holster, and he doesn't want to let go of him.
He also may still have his watch, too.
His watch, yeah.
He
He started
should have
holding
his
on to
watch.
Herschel. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss that guy.
Although the one thing he definitely doesn't seem like he's holding on to that Herschel was so big on was hope, because the conversation
Yeah.
that he was having with Rick
Mhm.
and Michonne, like he just seemed kind of I don't know, like cynical in a sense.
Let's look at all that he's been through. Like, I think after the whole, him and Maggie being captured in Woodbury, and Philip, the governor, just almost, doing what he almost did
Who calls him Philip?
to Maggie. Well, hey, like, that's his
The governor.
I'm in love with him.
name. He's you guys know he's one of my favorite characters.
Orlando's Man Crush Monday is in fact the governor.
Hashtag MCM.
/ regret.
Hashtag. So,
The governor situation, but also like how much time they spent away from each other,
Yeah,
not knowing
definitely.
if they were alive.
I know.
Yeah.
He knows what he's fighting for, and that's Maggie. And that's literally all he has now. Obviously, other than the rest of the family, Rick, Carl, Michonne, all those guys. But that's
fam.
really the only thing he can hold on to right now. Maggie, at this point, that's it. If Glenn goes, it's I don't know. It's not looking good for her.
And that keeps making me think about Sasha. That keeps making me think about the fact that she doesn't have Bob, she doesn't have Tyrese.
See, but Sasha's strong. Like, Sasha has a whole. She has a very strong
She
mindset.
broke when Bob left.
She broke.
She
Yeah.
broke.
She
Yeah.
broke.
And
And then
now-
her trust in people broke when that guy knocked her out. That cop. I don't know if you remember that. So I don't know.
Yep.
And now there's no more family to fall back on. It's just like, okay, I have my friends still. We're kind of like a family. But it's like everyone she's known since before the apocalypse is gone now.
I think overall they're just all in a distraught state. I mean, it's been 4 or 5 years now. They've gone through hell and back, and if you really look at the people that are left, it's the strong people. Glenn, he's natural born leader.
But even
Hashtag Rick.
even the strong are getting tired though.
Well, yeah,
can
exactly.
see-
They're getting tired. Who knows how long they can really hold on to this? I hope it goes on for the rest
But they
of
still
my
have
existence.
Judith. They can't.
Wow.
They can't give up. Judith is still there. Like you can't give up with the baby.
Judith, that's a whole nother topic.
She's part of the second apocalypse generation. She will be a mutant.
Plot twist: Judith is not infected. What do you guys think about that?
It's an airborne virus.
What makes no? So it's an airborne virus. Where are you getting that from?
They've said it multiple
They said
times.
it-
Like throughout
they
the
said
show,
it.
it's like, we're all infected now.
They're all
remember?
infected.
Yeah.
So okay,
Okay,
obviously
so,
it could be
so
airborne.
how else would they be infected though?
I say it this way: it's a TV show.
STD.
Though, well,
Wow.
I mean,
Well then.
then Lori is kind of hit because But I don't know. I just
Sorry.
I think she's immune. I think she doesn't have the virus. That's nor here nor there. But I don't know. So what else we got? It was a great episode.
I also think she was an immaculate conception. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. I mean, we all know where she was conceived.
I just honestly, I think bringing it back to just the beginning of the show and just how they executed it, it was a really different feel. You almost knew that there was some sort of like a beginning to an end that was going to happen. Like I feel like with Tyrese dying and them just wrapping it up, they just sort of made it into a different feel.
They threw a lot of curveballs in the beginning because you thought that a lot of maybe you thought it was flashbacks had something to do with Beth, and then at the end of it, it all came full circle.
Exactly. It had sort of like that not that creepy aura, I would say, but it was, I don't know, you just sort of knew something was going to happen.
How often do you think they'll be killing characters off now? Because this is 2 important characters, episodes back to back. It could just be like, hey, let's get rid of a few of them. I don't know.
I don't know, but we do have that rumor going around about Glenn
Yeah.
possibly.
Every season, it's been 2 or 3 main characters. It's I mean, it's got to happen. If every character carried over every season, not that it would be boring, but it's like, damn, like
It keeps it real.
yeah. It keeps it real. And we were talking about Beth's death. It was quick. It literally showed you right off the bat. Doesn't matter how big of a character you are, or in their world, how strong of a person you are, being able to survive in this world. It can literally happen from out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. It could literally just be, just gunshot to the head instantly for someone who didn't even mean to do it. Like that spoke volumes.
Actually, can we talk about that? What you just said, somebody
Yeah.
not really meaning to do that?
Go for it.
Yeah, like I remember Rick said, he saw in her eyes that it was an accident, but he still just wanted to kill her.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys think about that?
And coming from a cop, like he knows he can. I mean, he's not all knowing, but he can see the intentions in her face. He has to read body language as a police officer. That's what you have to do.
I think anybody
And-
would have caught that. Though.
Yeah, but a lot of folks, who had tunnel vision. Daryl had tunnel vision. Carol was crying.
Yeah. Everyone did though. Even Rick did because he
Yeah.
said
I'm
he would have shot him too.
Yeah.
Or her too.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he would have shot her. I don't think she had to be shot. And
His gun was up and ready to aim,
Yeah, he was-
but I feel
well,
like it was.
I think he was getting ready for the threat that was behind her. 6 cops ready to just shoot. Lay down fire down that hallway.
What I saw was he was getting ready to aim, but it only fit right to have Daryl shoot first. I feel like if he wanted to shoot first, that it would definitely be Rick to do it.
Especially after their little 3 episodes together. How many
Yeah.
episodes?
Their honeymoon.
Yeah, they
Their
had.
little honeymoon
Yes.
where he cheated on Carol a little. bit.
Hashtag Carol is jealous.
I'm still rooting for Bethel. I don't care if she's dead.
I mean, I don't think that's gonna work out
No, it's all right.
unless Daryl pulled a Michonne, has her with a chain necklace.
Ooh,
Ooh,
kinky.
That'd be a
because
little
she
crazy.
wasn't.
Well, she got shot in the head, guys. So I don't think she would come back.
True. There you go. Unless he's just carrying around her limp body, but that's another story.
That's just
I don't know.
Let's bring it back.
Let's bring it
Let's
back.
talk about
I think we're just getting to a scarier place. So, what else we got?
I don't know. I just honestly, overall, I think this was a really good episode. It wasn't too much information. It always, the show itself always makes you want to come back for more. So I don't think they definitely failed in that department.
I'm
I'm excited. I'm just, I don't know. I think they're showing a lot of things that are surprising you, and I think that they're just trying to keep it fresh and show people that there's so much more to the show.
definitely, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We are super excited for what's to come. Watch us. Watch out. WalkerVibes.com. We're gonna have loads of videos every week, every new episode that comes out. We are also going to Walker Stalker Con Chicago. We'll have our Walker Vibes t-shirts. We'll be handing out some little free swag that we'll have there. Feel free to catch myself, Orlando. Sam's going to be there. Our buddy Dave is going to be there. But yeah, watch out for us and come
Check
talk
us out
to
on social media, guys.
Yes, Facebook.
Twitter.
Walker Vibes, Twitter, Walker Vibes _ Instagram, Walker Vibes. I think we have 208 followers, something like that. So we're getting
Hashtag.
there. Yeah. WalkerVibes.com is where it's at. So definitely, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to just comment on our site. Shoot us an email, Orlando@WalkerVibes.com, or just go to the website and go ahead and comment on anything you'd like. And we appreciate you guys. Alrighty. Stay
And
cool.
make sure you keep it vibing.
Keep it vibing.
That's W vibing.
Keep it vibing.